We got lobsters today. We got lobsters. Lefto's got lobsters. It's these are cooked. These are 1 1/4 pounders. They call these chicks. Chick lobsters. These are what you get for lobster cup. That 1 1/4, 1 1/2. These are cooked. Just cooked this a little earlier. I cooked them in some water, some tomato, and I made a lobster stock. See, I cooked them in some water with lemon, tomato, some vegetables. I made a lobster stock, which is going to go to our Lobster Minestrone in a little while. I'm going to show you how to cut the lobster. Once they're cooked, you can buy them cooked like this. Lefto's excited. He likes lobster. He has a tough time cracking the shells, but that's it. So, a couple things. These are cooked. You're going to take these off. The legs, the arms, just twist them. These, we also take these off sometimes, and we use these for dumplings. We'll get to that in a few minutes. All right, so you can take a couple of these off. And, it's cold, so you can handle them. So use some towels down, because if you got a corporation like this, you're going to get wet. The claw, these are called the knuckles. All you do is press against the opposite way, like you're twisting there. And then this is the pincher, this is the crusher. See the difference? This is how they grab, and when they eat, they catch you with the muscle, and they eat with this one. So there's always one bigger claw. Each lobster has a pincher and a crusher. Pincher and a crusher. Anyway, in order to get the meat out, you just wiggle this piece. Looks like this, you see? Pull it and do that. And we see all that water's falling out. Then, or you can use a lobster cracker. So I'm gonna just take it off like this. So the claws are cooked. I'll leave that. And all the extra shells are gonna go back into that stock. This is the knuckle meat. We used to make, if we do 100 lobsters, we get 200 pieces. We would make a lobster knuckle sandwich, like a lobster roll. Fun, right? But, and here's the other one, you see? Just hit this, and then the meat just comes right out. Or, you can, in this case, I left it in. Well, that's one. And this piece here, the knuckle, we usually just squish it, and meat. This is really good meat too. So it is hard to get out, but you see I got it out. Some people take the claw and this out together. I've never been able to do that, nor do I have the patience, but Barry Wine, what a great restaurant years ago. Remember Barry Wine? The Quilted Giraffe. And they used to meticulously de-shell lobsters. I remember that. He was also very creative. So many great restaurants in the history of America in general. But okay, so I have a few extra shells here. They go back in to reinforce the stock, And we're gonna make a lobster cappuccino in a little while too. I learned the idea from a chef named Marc Minot. In France, he made wild mushroom cappuccino, and he's passed away since. But what a brilliant, brilliant chef! And I had the pleasure of being able to work in his kitchen for a couple of weeks. So we've got lobster meat. Here's the other part of lobster. Now, you got to take a big knife and cut it right down the middle, or you can have the guy in the store do this for you. Okay, now we've got. Right? It's cooked perfectly, but some of the roe is not quite cooked. That's the green part, which is good because I'm going to show you what to do with them. I have plenty of this ready. Towels, I mean. So now we'll do another one, and we're going to do the other one a different way. So you see this is the egg. So I'm just going to put it right here, and it'll turn bright red. And we'll use that as a garnish. This is the roe. See how red it's getting right away? You get this out. Turns really red. You grind it up, you put it into pasta, make red pasta, or you put it into pasta raw. But this is all edible and good. The green part is. So this is a lobster for salad, ready to eat. So are the claws. So is the knuckle meat. And the roe. See, the roe is, see how, look at that. This is eggs, cooked red. Use it as a garnish. These are just tricks of the trade. All right, so that's one. I'm gonna put this over here right now. Get it out of the way. This is gonna be our lobster salad, one of our lobster cocktails. But I'm gonna make a pineapple coleslaw too. And I'm going to show you how to cut one that Chris Shea reminded me of. We did this at David Burke Kitchen years ago. It's a different way to cut it, but I think for the professionals, it might be worth a look. We do the same thing. We take the claws off. They gently come off. The knuckles come off. The knuckles come off. One more time. Back and forth. Right, see, I got more claws here. And we got the two knuckles. More meat comes out. Blah, blah, blah. Here you go. So you see it? Nice. And this is cold, so it's easier to work with than if it's hot. And I'm going to put this the shells back into the stock pot. Now, this one gets a little tricky, so let's pay attention. Lower this thing down a tad. We're going to take these things are called whiskers. Pull them off. They're good garnish. That didn't hurt. It would have hurt if they were live, imagine. So now, I have these little legs here. I'm going to cut between the four. There's 4 sets on each side. I'm going to cut right here, right down the middle, this way. See that? Here comes the green. But so I have a base. See that? That's how we're going to plate it. So now I'm going to take the shells. Taking the shell off of the. I just took the lobster tail shell, and now I still have this. Kind of a odd-looking thing, but it's kind of fun. It's unique. Okay, we're going to call it unique. It's a different way to do it. Looks like a spider. More lobster stock, more shells. Okay, so we have 2. I'm going to make a quick coleslaw for you. I'm going to show you how to do that. And we have our lobster meat here. This one is just a different way to plate it than the other one. Still the same amount of meat. Coleslaw. I need a bowl, please. I got a bowl. Coleslaw is one of those American, I don't think it's American, but it's maybe German. It's cabbage. And it's carrots. And when you add the salt and the sugar, I got pineapple. I'm going to bring things over here. So I got carrots, pineapple, cabbage, vinegar, chives, pickle juice. Good one. All right? Is that what that is? Pickle juice?
Yes, sir.
Pickle juice in the coleslaw. Mayonnaise. And if you want, you can put a little pineapple juice. But we're going to let this sit for a moment. And a little bit of mustard and some poppy seeds, some chives. Okay, so this is the basic coleslaw, okay? It's mayonnaise. It's got some sugar. It's got some salt now. The salt will help break down the cabbage, so we'll let this sit for a little while. Vinegar, pickle juice. Could add pineapple juice, got pineapple in it. And we're gonna let this sit for a moment. And we just let this sit for a few minutes. Pineapple coleslaw. I'm gonna leave this here. That's gonna be served with one of these. Now, the other one has got a quinoa salad. And that's a little bit of quinoa. Cooked already. All right. And again, I'll add some seasoning. I got some chives here. And I'll take some of that back mayo. Chris. I'm making a quinoa salad. Similar to coleslaw. A little bit of mayo. Herbs. Salt, pepper. I got a little bit of that. Okay, so the quinoa acts as a base for the salad. Put that here. So quinoa is really healthy. Great. Ring mold. Cookie cutter. About this big. Goes in. Very good. Very popular plating method in the late 80s, early 90s. Quinoa. Couscous. Spinach, mushrooms goes in here. Whatever. Anyway, this is a quinoa with a little bit of mayo, some pickle juice. and some herbs. And we're gonna put it here. And again, sometimes we do tuna tartares in here, things like that. You just unmold it, you got yourself a nice shape. Looks fancy. And we got 2 cocktails. I got coleslaw working. Endives, underappreciated. You go here. A little asparagus. This is a lobster salad. We're also making a lobster cocktail. I'm gonna put these in here. Got a few of these, a little frisee. Salt, pepper. You know, lobster cocktail is it's much simpler. Lobster salad, you charge a little more money, and you dress it. All right. My olive oil. Oh, jeez, that's a lot. Okay, but anyway, we got olive oil, some lemon. Okay, good. So we got a little salad here. We have that little weird-looking lobster tail. So we're gonna put him on the table here. I'm gonna trim up this piece of meat. Again, any bits and pieces like the knuckles go into a lobster roll. I'm gonna put the lobster tail here. Looks pretty enough. And we're gonna put a couple of these endives in between his jacket, his shell. Coat of armor. Make a little salad. Like this. I'm building it. This is what we call building a dish in a restaurant. So you've got yourself a salad. We're gonna go around the board here. Some asparagus. And some carrots, radishes. I have to take 2 of the lobster claws and a knuckle to join, to be part of this salad. So let's not forget these. Easy enough to get out of the shell. Take 1 out, put it here. Follow what we're doing. We'll take both of them out because it's just easier to eat. Anyway, you got a small salad dressing, some asparagus. This is a lobster salad with endives and asparagus. Okay, number 1. And now if you want, you can still put a little dab of this cocktail sauce in there. Lobster salad. Lefto, my man? Yeah, he likes it. Lobster salad, quinoa, asparagus, and this and that. Fancy looking, creative, easy to cut. That's one way of doing it. That's the $28 way, or maybe the $34 way. I don't know. It's a big, expensive salad. It is a whole lobster. But once you break down the lobsters and get the meat out, you know, you're buying a 1.5 pound lobster, you're getting 1.5 pound lobsters. 24 ounces, you're getting about 12, 13 ounces of meat. If it's a 1.25 pounder, 20 ounces, getting 10, 12 ounces of meat. Still a lot. And boy, if it's cooked right, it is delicious. This goes into the stock. I got a really robust stock going back here. So the other lobster cocktail, more traditional. I'm gonna take this off here and clean up my plate. Lobster cocktail. Now you can do a half a lobster cocktail on a plate. Or a whole. I'm gonna do the whole one because I'm thinking summertime. Coleslaw, what do they do with that? Here it is. You see it's starting to get over the water. The cabbage is softening up. The salt is breaking it down, and the acid, the pickle juice. So we've got good. Acidic. Pineapple's delicious. Pineapple coleslaw right in the head. Right in the body. All right, so now you've got lobster. Oh, one thing I forgot over here. These are the greatest garnish. So we can put these here. The lobster whiskers. So you got the whiskers here. Then we have lobster cocktail. So you need cocktail sauce, right? So don't be shy. Cocktail sauce down. That's what you ordered. And this is a pesto aioli. And then you've got yourself a lobster cocktail traditional, more traditional. Lemon, basil, cocktail sauce, lobster cocktail. Simple and good, healthy. All right, and then you have a lobster quinoa salad. It's very similar, but you know, we get to play with ingredients and it's the same amount of lobster. That looks a little bigger, that looks great. That has a shell, you go, oh, I forgot the claws. Oh my God, I'm a bonehead, sorry. Lefto, I blame it on you. So, these can go like here. Again, now you've got, I don't know, that would looks like a better value because it's got more shell, but that is also a little more gourmet and interesting. Again, and I got knuckle meat. Reason I didn't put the knuckle meat there, and I'll show you in a minute. Why? I don't think it's necessary, and but because you don't sell a lobster cocktail on by the pound like you do main courses. But those are two salads. The reason, so I'm gonna take this meat, I'm gonna steal a claw. I'm gonna steal both claws because I'm gonna make quick lobster roll. There's a lot of, you know, wherever you're from, there's a lot of, you know, Taylor ham, pork roll, that's like lobster roll. And between my, you know, New England or Rhode Island, Boston versus Montauk, etc. Anyway, we're gonna do a small one. I'm gonna make it on this plate quickly. It's lobster, you just, you know, we're gonna chop it up a little bit. I'm just tear it apart. You know, the important thing with lobster roll is, you guys got any butter for me, please? Thank you. Is to butter the roll. There's a lobster roll, and you split it. And I think you gotta butter it, toast it. But I don't know how they toast it. Toast it this way. In the meantime, I made, you know, some people just put olive oil, lemon, a little bit of mayo, light mayo. So we have a little herb mayo here. Very light. Right? It's not tuna salad, it's not chicken salad. You want to put some of the eggs in there. Not quite cooked enough, but I got some lobster meat here. A little salt and pepper. And that's how you make a lobster roll. Sometimes they serve with chips. They serve it with, get this out of our way. I don't want to throw it away. Because I always like to use things. Pretty simple. Now again, lobster roll is a great thing. That's the lobster roll. You could do it with shrimp and crab. It's easier. But, you know, beginning of the season when you headed out to the Hamptons or anywhere on the shore, the first bite, man, it's great. I don't know if I have enough meat for a whole one, so I'm gonna steal another claw. Lefto's looking at me like, what are you doing? You're ruining that beautiful dish. Okay, so we got a toasted bun. I'm gonna put a little bit of butter in there and toast it with the butter. Now we got it. Now we got it, okay? Toasted bun, buttered, a little bit of salt, pepper on the bun. The pepper on the bread. And then we're gonna load it up. And more lemon wedges. I'm gonna steal one. Put one here. Take another one off my boy's plate. Here you go. Now, usually there's potato chips, and I don't have potato chips today, but we got a lobster roll, and that, boy, is that delicious. Simple, delicious. Now you can argue it until whatever that expression is. You can argue about what's the best lobster roll. It's not the best crab cake. It's a matter of opinion and regional, where you come from, what you do, what you like with it. The important thing is it's cooked correctly, it's fresh, seasoned well. Right? The bread, and yes, you should have the right roll. But at the end of the day, if you don't have that roll, I'm sure it's going to be good on a hot dog roll. Might not be authentic, but it's still going to taste good if you make it with love. Right, left? Bingo. Next, lobster soup.
For chefs and culinary professionals, the Chef's Warehouse is more than a supplier. It's a trusted partner in crafting unforgettable dishes. Known for sourcing the finest ingredients from around the globe, they deliver everything from artisanal cheeses and fresh seafood to specialty meats and gourmet pantry staples. With over 35 years of dedication to quality and innovation, the Chef's Warehouse is the go-to resource for those who demand the best. Discover how they help elevate kitchens everywhere at chefswarehouse.com.
So our lobster stock, beautiful. And we have a lobster cream. Okay, I'll take that soon. But here's our lobster stock. So for soup, lobster minestrone, a lot of veggies. Should have, right? But quick, peppers, red and yellow, onions, cauliflower. Right, this is just smoking along. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in, even though it's a broth. It'll sear it up a little bit. I got leek, zucchini, yellow squash going at it in a few minutes. But again, this has to get, got to cook this a little bit first. You got a ladle, guys? You know where a ladle is? Ladle. Garlic, lots of garlic. I got onions in there already. Celery's important. Leeks. So we got the veggies sauteing. This is for minestrone. Garlic, celery, leeks, cauliflower, peppers. I'll add some basil, I'll add onions. Coming around. I got the lobster stock here made out of the shells. A little bit of tomato, but it's really clear. The broth, you see that? So again, we reinforce it. You can buy lobster stock or lobster base, more than gourmet if you can. I got a couple of pieces of shell in there. I'm going to take that out. So now this is going to boil the veggies to cook. I add a little tomato sauce, or puree, or chopped tomato to give it some body. There's a little bit more broth here. And then I'll put this back to the back burner. I do have soft veg to add, and I got some beans and pasta. So it makes minestrone. All right, it's cooking away. And in the meantime, I want to cook, I have a lobster cream. I'll talk to you about that in a moment. So I'm going to add the beans to the soup. White beans. Part of the minestrone. That'll thicken it up a little too. And the pasta and the zucchinis will go in a little later. But I do want to talk to you about, now this is lobster stock, the stock we just took off. So here's the lobster, more lobster stock. I'm gonna put it in this pan. I got heavy cream in the back, guys. That's just lobster stock cooking. Heavy cream. I'm gonna make, again, a little tomato. I'm going to add heavy cream to that. There is a little bit of, see where I'm going? I'm making somewhat of a bisque. It's called a lobster cream. It's for a different dish. It's going to be like this. Simple. Make the stock. Stock is the fundamental basis of great cooking. Here's my minestrone. See, all the veggies are getting cooked pretty, right? Smells good. The soft vegetables we add later. This is the lobster cream cold. I want to make a hot one for you. We have a coffee cup for a cappuccino or whipped cream. All right, you see we got all the vegetables in here. And I have another lobster here. I'm going to cut some meat for that. And in this case, I'm going to cut the meat this way. Between the ribs. Be careful. See how we did that? Okay, and that's one tail cut into 5 little pieces. The broth is coming out nice. Now I'm going to add some cooked spaghetti, cooked shells for the minestrone. You see the body, the consistency now? Beautiful. Got the beans and all the veggies. Some zucchini now. Some yellow. Now that'll pitch out some water. Thin it out a bit, but also the pasta and the beans will continue to thicken it. I got some fresh basil here. I'm going to add the lobster tail right on top. Just to heat that lobster up. Thank you. So that smells great. I mean, this is lobster and basil, garlic. So I just heated the lobster on top, so. And then I'm just gonna sprinkle it around the outside of the bowl. Like 6 pieces, right? And this is the soup. Again, you could have a richer bowl, a deeper bowl, but this about says it all. It's rich, all right? That is lobster minestrone. You want to smell that? Yes. That's a meal. And that was pretty good. Like I said, once you have the stock, I had an old chef, and when I went to Culinary Institute of America, his name was Bruno Elmer. And he used to say, if the stock is on the fire by 10 a.m., you have won the battle. It was like, I always loved that. Because like, you got to go in and get it done. You got to get it done. And stock is the foundation, you know? And a lot of people don't make stock anymore because it's expensive, or they don't, you know, they use aiolis and srirachas and vinaigrettes and all that, including, we all do. But the key to everything is a good. I'm going to show you another dish that I'm very proud of and I used to make, and I can tell you. And this has a little cartilage in it, so you got to take out the crusher. Has the cartilage, the other one does not. So we have the lobster cream here. I have a little bit made this is like a light lobster cream. I'm going to add more to this and heat it up. And it's almost like a bisque, but it's made with lobster stock and cream. But you got to make the lobster stock. Tomato. Again, what I'm going to show you can be done with mushroom stock. Man, is it good. Sometimes you put a little sweet wine in there. Sauterne. It's very light. It's not a soup. It's not a bisque at all. Bisque is heavier. I'm going to add a little more of that tomato to give me a little more color. Doesn't hurt with the flavor either. I worked with this guy in France. Well, he was one of the best chefs in the world at the time, Marc Minot, and he made a mushroom cappuccino. He took a rich mushroom broth, real like dark as coffee, put it in a cappuccino cup, topped it with foam milk as an amuse. Boy, was that good. This is based on that idea. You could just use the lobster stock, but I put the cream in because I wasn't paying attention. But you see this? Look how beautiful it is. Tomato, cream. We had, you know, the lobster stock had a little bit of sweet wine in it. But look at how that's nice, right? Season the meat a little bit. Coarse pepper, a little salt, everything gets seasoned. I don't remember Mom making this on a snow day, but she made a mean tomato soup with grilled cheese. It's fun. Lefto's like, what is he doing? Wasn't on the script. I'm gonna move this here. Of course, we make a little bit of a mess. Thank you, sir. 2 cups of coffee, right? But it's really lobster soup. There's lobster meat in there. We had, I lost a partner of mine, God bless him, and his name is Bill Savola. He owned the beach club, the Drift House by David Burke in Seabright, and he said to me a few seasons ago that his grandfather's father used to take him to a place in Seabright, and they served a whole lobster, one of these things, whole lobster in a coffee cup, and that was the lobster bisque. And you paid well for it, but it was more of a just hot lobster swimming in a coffee cup, and we put that on the Drift House menu. So this is actually reminding me of him, and what a great man. So now this is a lobster soup. Now if it was just lobster stock, really rich, and you put the whipped milk on it from the cappuccino area for the professionals, you'd have a lobster cappuccino. And this is similar to that. So we're gonna just kind of go with the hot cocoa look, right? So this is lobster hot cocoa. All right, a little bit of chive. I got a little bit of everything bagel seasoning. And this could be a wonderful, if it was an espresso cup, you'd have a beautiful hors d'oeuvre. But you got a nice way to serve soup. Lobster cappuccino or lobster après ski, right? Yes, okay, Lefto. That was off the script. We go off script sometimes. We have too much fun. Again, the cost, you make it out of the soup, out of the bones or the shells of the fish, the shellfish. And that's what gets me excited. I like to utilize things. So, like even this now, I have the lobster stock, what's left of it here. This will go in there, and we'll reboil all this, and we'll make another, a basic stock. All right, we build it 2 times. Okay, I'm gonna wipe down. We've got the lobster soup, lobster quinoa salad, basically fancy lobster cocktail, a classic lobster cocktail with pineapple coleslaw. A lobster roll that wasn't on the agenda either, but we made a good one. Lobster minestrone came out beautiful. Don't forget some breadsticks or some crispy something or other here. I didn't put any cheese in it, but boys, it looked good. And then you got the lobster cappuccino, and minestrone, beautiful. We're gonna take a breather, clean up. We're gonna make angry lobster, lobster saltimbocca, something else, a couple other lobster dishes. And Lefto wants to talk for a little while. He's got something to say.
At Marvel Produce, we bring the freshest fruits and vegetables from farm to table with unmatched quality. For years, we've partnered with local growers and global suppliers to ensure every product meets our high standards of freshness and flavor. Whether you're a chef crafting gourmet meals, a grocer stocking your shelves, or a family looking for the best produce, Marvel Produce is your trusted source. Our commitment to sustainability and excellence is at the heart of everything we do. Marvel Produce, delivering freshness you can count on. Explore more at marvelproduce.com.
Okay, listen, whole lobster. We're doing some lobster dishes. We've got, we're gonna make an angry lobster in a little while. We made lobster cocktail, lobster quinoa salad, lobster soup, lobster minestrone, lobster roll. This is a 2-pounder. I lightly steamed it, it's still rare. I put the sticks in it so that the tail doesn't curl up when we cook it. So the sticks are coming out. I'm taking the rubber bands off. We're gonna bake this whole in this style. So I'm gonna just cut the, it is pre-cooked a little. So I'm gonna cut it. See how it's a little rare still? Cut this up a little bit just to crack it so that the meat cooks, right? I'm gonna put this now. I'm gonna add Saltimbocca's got sage and prosciutto. Then we need salt, pepper on the meat. Again, it's just steamed, blanched, right? I'm gonna take a little bit of olive oil and some butter, but I'm gonna do it on the pan here. Oh boy, I lost my pan. Okay, lobsters are a little messy. We told you that. Okay, salt, pepper, a little olive oil. Spinach is cooked, it's still warm. I'm gonna put that right in here in the head, fill the cavity with it, right? And some mushrooms that are sauteed, and those are still warm. So, see what I'm doing here? I've got spinach and mushrooms in the head. This is just meat. I'm gonna add a little bit of butter to the lobster meat, here, and here. Some butter here. The claws are on their own right now. We can put a little bit of butter tucked in if you like. See that? There's a little crack in the shells. Doesn't hurt. Sage, another important thing to put on this. We're gonna put a little bit of sage on here and a little bit of sage on the pan because it'll help us with. So we got spinach, mushrooms, sage. I got some butter, a little bit of lemon here, salt, and I'm gonna put some prosciutto right over the top here, and here, and here. And the prosciutto is gonna get crispy. You know, so we're just gonna kind of lay it on. Right, and the saltiness will, this goes in the oven 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. Everything will cook. I'm gonna put a little bit more butter and olive oil on the pan. That'll be a part of our sauce, okay? So this goes in the oven, and I'll put some herbs on. We got sage. Here you go, guys. Fire away. 12, 15 minutes. That'll be our lobster saltimbocca. I'll keep some sage here for the rest. Now we're gonna make a famous dish. I didn't create the dish, but I made it very popular, called Angry Lobster. It's created by Philly Ponte restaurant in New York many years ago. I think Pat Trauma was the chef there. And he made it for me, and then I took it another direction, and we got a lot of credit for it. So it was called Angry Lobster, and anytime you see Angry Lobster, many menus around the country, because it's got the right name, the right spice. It's basically lobster arrabbiata. I just presented it in the David Burke style, and I'm gonna teach you how to do that now. And when you're cooking online, you're making 30 of these a night, you better be good. So I took a lobster, and we cut it up into pieces like a Chinese chef would. So there's a little bit of meat here, a little bit of meat there. So it's just a tail and a half a head, and some other pieces that are. So I have a hot pan. I got some lobster shells, and the flour. There's chili powder and there's paprika, and we put salt in the flour. It's called Angry Flour. So I'm gonna mix this up. This has some spice to it. It's got a little cayenne in it too. And I've got a hot pan going, so this is gonna go fast. And this is the original, at least my version of the original Angry Lobster. They did it differently than I do. What we did to cut this lobster is we cut the meat on a bandsaw, cut it this way, and then we cut it this way and this way. So you'll see you got the tail meat here, you got some other meat here, claws, and I'm gonna go, I'll show you what we did. You cut this way, and you cut again. Remember, we cut between the two pieces here. You go down this way. You're cutting nuggets. I'm gonna cook some extra pieces. Okay, we're good. That's my lobster. Thank you, sir. I have a couple extra pieces, so, because I know we have hungry staff. So, lobster saltimbocca's in the oven. This is the lobster. Put some salt, put some pepper. Right, we're gonna add it to the flour, right? Dredge it in flour, get it in there. Right, this is raw lobsters, not pre-cooked. Right out of our tanks, we usually take them and we cut them. So it's hard. You got to get ready to go here. We do cut a few ahead for service because we have to get ahead. All right, so lobster. That's hot. You got lobster oil or chili oil? That's oil of olive oil. Don't worry, I'm adding a little chili. I'm gonna add the lobster meat. Skin, you know. So that's the angry lobster in the process. All right? Now, yes, it's spicy. Yes, it's called lobster arrabbiata. What makes it more angry is when I was doing a shoot for Art Culinaire, I had to do it. The theme was curry, and I had thought about the people that slept on a bed of nails, et cetera, et cetera. I found these nails. It's called a frog pin. Florists use them. And I presented the lobster on this. Anyway, you're gonna put the lemons on here first. We're gonna flip our lobster over. It's like fried chicken. We're just crispy frying it without deep frying it. Right on top of the stove here. Let that meat cook up nice. You understand that the lemons, you got to cut the lemon so it's this way so it fits on the nails. The nails are not cheap and they will bend, and you'll have to replace them, and they'll get thrown in the garbage in the restaurant. So anyway, here's the lobster. Coming along, coming along, coming along. So I'm going to add to the lobster garlic. Lots of garlic. Lots of shallots. A little bit of red pepper. So we need a little bit more, a lot of red pepper. A little bit more chili oil. And basil. Lots of basil. Lots. Like, you know, get it in there. Lemon juice. Now we're getting there. Now you've got the flavors melding. Lobsters. You can see everyone in the studio's holding because of that chili powder. And cook it. You can smell it now. It's starting to blend. So now we've got the oils and the garlic. We're making the pan sauce. Lemon juice went in. You can see it's starting to come together nice. Then you add a nice hunk of butter. And we start to plate. All right, so you're gonna take out, anyone that's worked for me that's watching this, you know how hard this is. You know, you're using the head piece and this piece here. You know, you're gonna have to wedge these in. And these become building blocks to hold everything in. And when you're busy, and this is hot, man, it's hard when you want to make it look good. But boy, is it tasty. So there is the, now the sauce has got the chili oil, the basil, the garlic, the shallot, and of course the lobster drippings and the lemon juice. If you wanted to go Asian, a little add ginger, soy, a little sesame, some soy. And you have a Shanghai style lobster. Boy, let's bring back memories. So this is the original Angry Lobster. Well, not the original Maine, the original one from David Burke and Donatello or Maloney Porcelli, but this is how we started doing it with the nail. So that is a beautiful dish. Serve it with a cocktail fork, and that is a work of art. It's not easy to make, but man, is it worth it. So, and now the Saltimbocca should be ready, coming out of the oven. But that, if you get that presented to you in a restaurant or in a home, you're not going to see that elsewhere. I mean, maybe in Hong Kong or something like that, but it's got a lot of effort and work and thought into it, and it's delicious. And it's talk about eye-catching. When we cook this, if you work for me in the day, we made them on the nails. We don't do it on the nails anymore because the nails are very expensive, and they get lost in, you know, other reasons. But that's a beauty. And now here we go. That looks good. Got a big plate for this? Yeah, let's take this one. So, this is Francois. How you doing? So this is, again, another lobster dish, and we'll take the lobster dumplings up here. So now this is a baked lobster. Lobster Saltimbocca. It's got the spinach, the mushrooms, the lemon, the sage. Again, this is a different style of dish. I'm gonna put it on this big platter that some people like. Now I have the juice here. Remember we said we were gonna put some, we really don't need, all we need to do is add a little bit of butter to this pan to melt it. And a little bit of lemon. But I like this lobster Saltimbocca a lot. And that was, you know, again, you can get these semi-cooked, or even if you cooked it bought it cooked, you can warm it up and still have this beautiful presentation. And you know, you see it comes out easy. Nice and cooked. Beautiful, actually came out great. And the little crispy prosciutto. We put in some boiled potatoes on the side or some French fries. You got a home run. And here's our sauce. All right. Thanks for the help, Lefto. Lobster Saltimbocca. Hot. Nice glass of wine. Home run. Now, one more dish, and then we're gonna do dessert. I'm not gonna make it from scratch, but it's one of our signatures. It's called Lobster Dumplings, and they're made also from, we have some cooked or some made. So the lobster dumplings are made out of a puree of shrimp. Lobster dumplings is on every one of our menus. There's certain dishes that are on every David Burke menu, and this is one of them. There's also the cake pops, which we've talked about in the past. And I'll make them quickly. We're gonna boil them already, but they're made. We use these pieces of the legs for the dumpling as the skewer. The filling is made with pureed shrimp and butter and lots of lobster. And we'll show you how to make it. We're gonna boil them in a moment as soon as I get them up here. Oh, the Saltimbocca, where did that go? Oh, it's right here. The Saltimbocca needs some fried sage. Gorgeous. Okay, so just a brief tutorial. These are lobster dumplings. Now this is a wonton wrapper or ravioli. And it is, we take these off of either cooked lobster or raw lobster, and we use these as the handle. So when you pick them up after eating, eat them like this. Easy, right? So I'm gonna put a few of them in the pan. And this is the original way to make them. Originally, the idea came from me. I was in Tokyo representing the United States for the Culinary Olympics in 1988, and I had to do a quail dish. And I made them out of the quail legs. Quail legs are tiny, so I took the drumstick leg, pulled it out, and that became the handle of a cinnamon smoked quail with apple. It was an apple dumpling, like an apple stuffing, like a turkey. And we won that competition. And then it kind of led to this being, because quail is not very popular. It doesn't sell that well. So anyway, so the dumplings are cooking. I have a sauce here made by cooking down tomato. It's tomato sauce. It's got miso in it. Lemon juice, vinegar, miso, a little bit of soy. And it's a sauce. And it's a sauce. And it's good. Very good. I got some fried basil. I got my dumplings being cooked. And I'm gonna throw a little bit of, just a small piece of butter on a plate to coat the dumplings. See, Francois gave me the pepper deuce, which are unique peppers we use, but I don't really use them on the Angry Lobster anymore. But they really never were on the dish. But things get added and subtracted as you expand. But the dumplings are the same. They cook in a couple minutes, you can see. And the ingredients are pureed shrimp, butter, lobster meat, lemon, zest, salt, and pepper. All right, so I got the lemon, a little radishes, some butter in the pan, the dumpling. I'm gonna throw the cooked dumplings in here. All right, there's 4 of them. Just to get them a little coated. Throw some herbs on them. Salt, pepper, of course. And there's the lobster dumplings. A little bit of lemon. Candied lemon, we use quite a bit. Lemon confit. And then this is fried basil. That is the lobster dumplings tomato miso sauce. All right, again, utilizing the pinchers or the legs. And this is one of our signature dishes. And if you can get to it, the recipe's online. And it's really a great appetizer. And the sauce is wonderful. It's tomato sauce pureed with miso, a little bit of sesame soy, and acid, vinegar or lemon. And we've done a bunch of lobster dishes today. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to do one lobster tail sfogliatelle, which is a lobster tail dessert when we come back. And thank you for hanging in there. And I hope you're learning something, because I'm learning as I'm teaching. It's called lobster tail. And we make it at Dixie Lee Bakery, and I brought it here, and I'm going to assemble it for you as soon as we get back. Thank you.
Welcome to Off the Hook Seafood, your trusted source for premium wholesale seafood. From ocean to table, we deliver the freshest catch, ensuring quality and excellence for your business. We specialize in servicing restaurants, hotels, country clubs, catering halls, private chefs, markets, stadiums, and any other institutions. Off the Hook Seafood, where freshness meets reliability.
I tell Lefto that I'd make a special dessert for his birthday. We got a little cupcake there, a muffin, but because it's Lobster Day and we're filming lobster, we made sfogliatelle. And then it's lobster tail, then there's sfogliatelle. The sfogliatelle from Naples. Naples or another area. Where's it from? Campania. Whatever. Stuart Marks is my pastry chef. He made these. He's wonderful. We sell these at Dixie Lee Bakery. This is for his birthday. It's a lobster tail, lobster theme. So here's the pastry. It's already pre-cooked. So they're wonderful. I have the shell like that. I have bananas, and I have strawberries. Pastry cream. So we're going to put a little bit of that there. Pastry cream is custard, what you see in eclairs. So I'm going to blend these together. What a great. And I think this pastry cream has banana flavor. And we're making a little pudding here, really. And this is the bottom of the shell. So I'm going to fill this up. Strawberries, bananas, pastry cream. Okay, here we go. And now I'm going to move it over to the board. This is chocolate sauce. Part 2. Whipped cream. I'm going to put a couple of mint things here. One down here. And this goes on top. And we got to add the other part, which is the lobster tail garnish, which is strawberries. Okay. Anyway, you've got the lobster tail. We got extra whipped cream we put on a plate. You've got the little fins in the back there. Lots of this good stuff. All right, let's go. Happy birthday, Lefto. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lefto. Happy birthday to you. Make a wish. Oh! 5 years old. And now we got a knife. Here we go. Cut the cake. All right. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Lobster Louie. and Lefto's birthday, and all the great dishes. You guys, thank you. It was really, we produced a lot of good stuff. Some of it is a little not for necessarily your first time triers, but the ideas are there. Go out and have some fun with your food. And I want to thank the sponsors, Off the Hook Seafood. Woo, great stuff. Harold Nash, Continuum, for all the pots and pans, all the great job you do. Kevin McGrinder Group, all these beautiful plates we get to play with, and always being there for us. Marvel Produce, thank you. Chef's Warehouse, thank you. Chef Ware, thank you. All the employees at the restaurants, Anna Rose, thank you. And everyone that works for our organization, and also the crew here. So we appreciate it. Have a great night. We'll be back soon with some more episodes.